Big Drive Energy Monday Memorial Day episode. We are live on this beautiful Memorial Day. We hope you all are enjoying your Monday off of work. Holidays are something that we've gotten back now because we're not in the golf industry anymore. Like holidays just didn't register in our minds for probably a good 10 to 15 years, but they are back. We're going to talk about Ben Griffin's big first solo victory on the PGA Tour. Tommy Ladd and his winless streak. I'm going to actually give you a couple of facts about some other tour players and test you on which career you'd rather have of some anonymous tour players, if you will. Angel Cabrera, not enough can be said about what this guy's doing. We got to talk about what in the fuck Angel Cabrera just coming out of jail, winning back-to-back majors on the Senior Tour, a wild finish on the DP World Tour, and of course, because it's Monday, we've got Mulligan Monday for you on Big Drive Energy, part of the Golfer Gang Network, coming up in 30. Memorial Day episode. We've got a lot to talk about in the golf world, but before we do that, let's get into some of our personal lives because everybody loves that. And I'll tell you, this isn't necessarily my Mulligan Monday. I have quite a few since we last talked, but the one I will say is I started my Memorial Day off, had a nice, easy, lazy morning. My wife is out of school for the summer, which is great. But I got him to daycare today, and I planned on going and working out at the gym right by my work.
Oh, wait, your wife, Kylie's off work now? She's out for the summer?
Yeah, her last day of school was last Friday. So
holy shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, she's out for the summer. It's great. And then I get there and I'm like, okay, cool. Well, Nanny's here. I'm gonna go work out I have 2 gym memberships. Not a big deal. No, more just because I have a rec center right by my work here where I like to go get a quick pump in. They have showers, the whole bit, and then I can go to work. And so I get there and I realize, like, I knew it's Memorial Day. I get that, but no one's in the parking lot for work, which I anticipated, which is why I'm doing my pod here from my office. Love it. Quiet. Nobody around to bother me. But what I didn't realize, which I should have known because I saw it when I went and worked out there last week, is that the rec center was closed. And normally I'm like, I can just skip a workout, but I had just pumped myself full of pre-workout. And so when that happens, I can't like not do anything, right?
Or you can just sit on the shitter and just shake like a leaf for 30 minutes. Just, dude, pre-workout is I don't know how you take that stuff. It blows my mind.
Yeah, well, it usually helps me. I take pre-workout and then I'm lifting weights and really get a good pump in, dialed in, laser focused. So I decided to go for a run. And I am not a runner anymore. I used to be the 5K guy. I used to love to run a couple miles here and there, and my knees are just not for it anymore. So I basically ran all around City Park. I think I ran like just about 3 miles, walked. Let me be honest, I didn't run the whole time. And my knees were screaming. So I put some Tiger Balm on my knees. I'm ready to do the pod, but yeah, just kind of a major L that I did not have the gym to go in and work out. And I'm just old and I can't like physically, I can go to the gym, but at the gym, you can kind of push yourself as hard as you want, which I'll be honest, a lot of my workout time is spent just stretching and rolling myself out because that's how old I am. And instead I decide today that I'm going to have to run 3 miles around City Park in Colfax. And then make matters worse, I don't have a shower at my work. So I wash my hair in the work sink with some of my hair growth shampoo because I got to stay on my daily regimen so I can grow my bald on top back. And then I put Mando deodorant, which is whole body deodorant, on myself, put some other deodorant under my arms.
Bro, you're just giving 8 million brand shout outs right now. How many fucking
not
just brand
intentionally. No,
dropping.
shout out, no free shout out. But yeah, so I'm probably a little stinky, but going to play golf after this, a little 9 holes.
Who are you
and
playing
ironically, Kylie, me and Kylie are gonna go play a 9er.
Oh, very cool.
But ironically, we got pelted with rain, dude. It rained all night. I was bricked because I knew my lawn was just getting absolutely the work in the back there. I could hear it. We went to bed. I went to bed at approximately 7:15, 7:30 last night, local time. It was incredible. But woke up at like 11:30 and was like, is it time to get up? And it was still 11:30. So I had multiple hours to sleep, which was great.
Talk about the scaries when you go to bed so early, you wake up, it's the middle of the night and you think it's 6 a.m. and then you're like, fuck. And then I usually lay there for like 2 hours just contemplating every possible situation that I've fucked up in my entire life. And that's
I don't think
there's nothing worse.
I don't think that's the scaries. That's the happies, because I realized I had 6.5 hours to still sleep.
That's
and
true.
I was already
just depends on how you view it.
Sleep. Yeah, I was already getting that good sleep with the rain coming down. But long story short, rained so much that holes 13 through 17 at Inverness are closed because
it's like underwater,
pretty much underwater. And
the
whole course is cart path only, which is fine. We're only playing 9 holes anyways. But yeah, I mean, we got absolutely deluge of rain. We only made it through 5 innings of the Rockies game yesterday and then went home, and they started the game 2.5 hours later and finished it up because the Yankees aren't a team they play very often. So they didn't want to have to fly him back in here on an off day or do some crazy shit. So that game started at 1 local time and finished about 6 p.m. local time. It was
we were at the bar. We were at the bar down the street watching. We weren't watching any TV intentionally. We were just grabbing a bite to eat. But the Yankees Rockies finish was on, and it was like 8 p.m. Here on the East Coast. So seems like there was a bit of a delay. But I need a yard update from you. For those of you who don't know, Spencer is not. I wouldn't call him a green thumb by any means, but you're moving in that direction. You're trying to become. You are a dad, so now you're trying to do dad things like take care of the yard. And you started with taking the trash out. I mean, that sounds pretty simple, but the strategery that you do the trash every Tuesday night and the box cutter, the whole bit. But now you've graduated to the lawn. And so you planted all these seeds. I need updates. Like, is it patchy? Is the grass coming in? Does it look good? Are your dogs fucking ruining it? How does it look?
Well, it looks decent. I'll give myself a 3 out of 10 thus far. So the biggest issue is when my grass was all dirt, my grass
was not grass.
My lawn was all dirt. I did a good rake job with it, with a heavy metal rake. And what happened is I raked, 4 feet or whatever you could reach your rake out and then pull to your feet. I was trying to just basically aerate a little bit. I did foot aerate the whole lawn by myself, which hasn't proved to be that successful. And so I was raking, and I raked into like around my grass, and then I kind of raked these like mini piles of dirt that were, just the excess dirt from the top. And I didn't flatten those out as well as I should have, or at all, really. I should have just flattened them out over the whole lawn. So now there's these little areas where when I raked it up and it's like a foot wide and it's these paths, those areas have grass coming out of them like a MF. And the rest of the lawn
you raked it after you put the seed down?
No. I seeded and then raked. And then I've seeded like 3 different times. So I seeded once, and then there was a lot of dirt still. So I seeded again, raked again, thinking it would be like an aeration type rake. And then I seeded again, and then there's grass growing where the excess dirt has piled up a little bit, and there's some grass growing in different. It's very patchy, much like my actual hair. But I'm staying on it. I'm watering it 2 days a week, two times a day, 7 days a week, I should say. And I'm really into it. And I think I've got something brewing a little bit. So there is some grass coming up in certain areas. I don't know how it's going to spread to the entire lawn, but last night I was laying in bed, and I'm pretty self-proclaimed funny. But I got this one, got a good chuckle out of Kylie. We were laying in bed and I was like, come on, Rain. I was like, feed this lawn. Make me mow you. Make me mow you. I thought that was good.
Brother. Yeah, that's pretty good. You know, that's solid dad jokes. You're moving on to some good dad jokes as well. But I'm proud of you for getting into the lawn game. It's when I had my yard, it was all sod, so I was just on point with mowing it and watering it. I had the sprinkler system, but it is just a therapy. Like it's therapy. Like I truly, genuinely enjoy yard work. Like dudes don't need to go to therapy; they just need to mow the lawn and water their grass and stand outside and listen to a podcast or listen to some music and just chill. That is therapy for me. So I'm glad that you're getting into it. Give me your rundown on the golf rounds that you've played. You played your a little mini member guest. Is that what it was considered?
Yeah, it was a little mini member guest day. Shout out to Inverness. I got 1A, so it seems I have some pull around there in a shotgun. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, you feel special. Well, and I have to preface this by saying that you told me you just flat out did not have it that day. And you were texting me during the practice round the day before saying that you were just hitting seeds, you were playing really well. And I remember telling you that we've dealt with this in the past where you cannot be the guy that plays well during the practice round, proverbially blows their nut during the practice round, plays their ass off, and then loses it because you have the expectation, you know, you just came off a good round, blah, blah, blah. And so the water kind of finds its level. But go ahead and give us a rundown on that. Just don't go shot for shot, please. I don't want to jump off the nearest tall building.
No, my practice round, I did exactly what you told me not to do and blew my nut. And I didn't intentionally blow it. But the last two rounds
just loose. You were just hitting it good. It didn't matter.
Yeah, the last two, and I didn't feel like it mattered in the tournament. You know, like there's times where I'm like, oh, this actually matters. I didn't feel
you clinch that asshole a little bit.
Yeah, I was loose. I just wasn't making anything. And that's where I think the problem
Your ass was loose. You just couldn't knock it in there.
Yeah, it was flying around, just swishing around. But no, I felt in the practice round, I felt good. And one of the things that was crazy for me is the round I played on Sunday when we did right before we did the pod at Sand Hollow, shot 2 under, made 4 birdies, 3 straight birdies. That doesn't happen to me a lot. And then I go out to the practice round at Inverness on Wednesday and I birdie 7, 8, 9, and 10 in a row. And that shit just like does not happen to me. But the funny thing about these rounds of golf is, and this happened in both the practice round at Sand Hollow or the round at Sand Hollow and the first round at Inverness, is I kind of deserved to shoot. I shot 74 in the round at Inverness, so nothing, you know, off the map here, especially for a par 70, because I was such an idiot for the first couple of holes, and then I was pretty bad down the stretch as well. But these birdie runs that I went on, I made 4 birdies in both rounds, and both times I made these 4 birdies, they were on putts that I should not have made. I don't think I hit a single golf. I don't think I made a single of those 8 birdies in 36 holes where I was like, I expect to make this putt. But on the other side of the coin, in both of those rounds, at Sand Hollow, I had, there was one birdie, one par 5 birdie where I had to tap in at Sand Hollow. Other than that, 30 footers. And so 7 of the 8 birdies were probably 15 to 20 foot putts. And then during the same rounds, I had 4 or 5 different opportunities from inside of 10 feet on each round where I did not make birdie. So I was hitting the ball well, and I felt like I should have shot those numbers and played, you know, as well as I actually put on the scorecard. But just the manner I got there was so insane. And by the time I got to hole 10 in the practice round, after I'd made 3 birdies in a row, I had a pretty decent approach in there to like 15 feet. And the hole felt like it was fucking a trash can. I haven't had that feeling in a long, long time. I was like,
you're like, this is foreign. This.
Yeah. And I just stepped up and I made it. Like I didn't, you know, and ironically, you know, I'm very superstitious, changing marks, blah, blah, blah. So on 7, in the practice round, the first birdie I made, I didn't mark my ball. So then I didn't mark my ball the rest of the day. I just fucking left it there. And there was only 2 of us, so it wasn't a big deal. I didn't have to like mark and get out of people's way. But very superstitious in that manner. And yeah, going back to back to back birdies and then back to back to back to back birdies is pretty foreign for me. And then in the real round on Thursday, I made 0 birdies. Did not make any birdies. I hit a shot on a par 4 where I just tried to punch it up next to the green. It hit a tree and went backwards out of bounds. So that was fun.
Talk about an all-time defeat when you're trying to do the right thing. And that's where golf can just totally bend you over, is you can make the right decision, and if you don't execute, then you still get fucked. Like, you may as well have just sent you may as well just tried to pull off the hero shot, you know?
Yeah, and it was kind of a mid-hero shot, but I just left my face wide open and fucking hit that tree and almost hit me and then shot out backwards to the left out of bounds. And I was like, well, and in that format, the Chicago points format we played, the unfortunate part is it's one of those events where if I would have played the way I played the day before, making a bunch of birdies and a few pars and then maybe a couple bogeys, it wouldn't have hurt me as bad. But making a bunch of pars in that format did me no favors at all. So we ended up kind of finishing middle of the pack. But when Mark Hirsch, who, if you guys know, probably maybe some people out there know him, he played in the Spring Valley Invitational. We changed the name multiple times, but he played in it 11 years. Him and his buddy, and they won 10 out of 11 years. And the one year they lost was to me and Mitchell off a weekend of EDC. I think we were like 19 years old, 20 years old, whatever.
We were 18 and 19.
18 and 19, absolutely blitzed, and we beat their ass. We
actually 19 and 20. We lost the first year. Remember, we won the second year. That was the last year we could play in it. So we did take them belt to ass, but they went nuclear on that second 18. It was fucking insane.
Yeah, and I saw him at the Inverness thing, and I was like, holy shit, no way. And he was playing with the player of the year. I don't know. Basically, at Inverness, they have 2 parking spots that the names are up there, and that's the guy he was playing with. And I don't even think they finished first or in the top 5, but Mark Hirsch came in after that round and said, that was one of the hardest rounds of golf I've ever fucking played in my life. He's like, I made 6 double bogeys. I haven't made 6 double bogeys in my last 10 rounds combined. And so I felt a little better about my round of golf.
You felt a little more vindicated.
It was windy, and in the afternoon, once it starts getting windy, and I'm not joking you, dude, I was fighting my driver all day long, and I'm back to the Aero Jet, not intentionally. My shaft from PXG should be delivered here any day now. I can flip my head back in and get back to it, but I mean, I'm not going to go shot for shot with you, but like, the few good holes that I had, I hit hybrid off the tee. If I hit driver off the tee, I was fucked. And it just was not good. Yeah, I was just not driving it well and not making any putts and just terrible.
So wait, did you ask Mark Hirsch, are they going to be playing? Is he the partner for the member guest, the actual member guest?
Oh, I didn't ask him that. I don't want to open up that. I don't want to play with him for 18 holes.
I was going to say, because we might end up getting paired with him, and that'll just be our teenage years all over again. We'll ask him if he wants to explain Jesus Christ to us and how he found him. But what was I just thinking? God damn it. It was funny. What the tough round of golf. Oh yes. I told Missy yesterday, we were talking about the member guest, and I was like, she asked me what the format was. And I was like, I'm not sure what each day is. She goes, each day. I was like, yeah, it's 3 days. She goes, what? She's like, are you on the fucking PGA Tour? I thought that was
3 days and a practice round.
Oh my God. So it's actually 4 days.
We got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
She's going to, oh my God.
She's going to get ready to learn Sawyer, buddy.
Get ready to learn not your boyfriend, because I'm going to be, I 4 straight days of golf. I don't know when the last time I did that was. So that'll be, even the mini tour, like few cuts that I made, it was usually 3 2-dayers. I don't know if I played 72 in a fucking grip. So I'm going to need to.
I know I played in the past up until Thursday. I had played 50 or 36 one day, 18, and then had 2 days off, and then 18. So I played, what is that? 72 holes of golf in 5 days. That's like peak for me. That I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah, that is a lot of golf. You definitely can feel, though, when you get into more of like a groove, if just playing day after day, you kind of pick up a little bit more on your tendencies, and you feel like you can kind of feel it a little better. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I played a cool round of golf yesterday, actually. So we haven't talked since I went to Atlantic City, correct? I guess Atlantic City was just last week. It feels like
we haven't talked since last Sunday.
Wow. Well, yeah. So I played this course down near Atlantic City called Twisted Dune. And it was legitimately one of the coolest golf courses I've ever played. I enjoyed it so much. I did post the first 3 holes on our TikTok or Instagram, if you follow us on either one of those. But the course was unlike anything I had seen in New Jersey. It was full blown like dune style, kind of looked like you're over in England or Scotland. The greens were pure, they were fast. Everything was just rolling so well. And I just got out there by myself, had my tunes on. It was like a late afternoon niner. So it was like, I think I got out there like 5:30, and I ended up playing the first 5 holes by myself. And then I joined up with the twosome in front of me because I caught up to them. And they were 2 dudes that were like doing their residency for or after to become doctors or some shit. So they were just a couple of nerds, but I ended up having a blast there. I played pretty well. I shot even par and I bogeyed the last hole. So I was 1 under until then. But that's my thing that I'm running into right now is I love playing all these new golf courses, but I also have an expectation of like playing pretty well. And in reality, if you've never played a golf course before in your life, there's a good chance you're not going to play your best. Like when you don't know what the course is like, when you don't know the conditions. So I played this golf course yesterday called Architects Golf Club, which super cool spot out in, I think it's called Phillipsburg, New Jersey. It's super far west, like literally the last exit before you get to Pennsylvania in New Jersey. So super western New Jersey. But they dedicated the course to all the different famous architects from like the late 1800s to the early 1900s. And each of them had a different hole dedicated to them, like in the style of architecture that they would normally design a course. So there was a Seth Rayner hole. There was a Harry Colt hole. There was you name all a Tillinghast, you name all the legendary designers, Robert Trent Jones. They had all these different holes basically set up in memoriam, like the way these guys would have them set up, to the point where they even had different sand on different holes. Like some of it was like kind of more clayish, like red sand. And then some of it was there was a few holes where the sand was super white and fluffy. Like it was super cool. I had never seen anything like that. But I did the exact opposite of what you did. I made 1 birdie on the front and 1 bogey. And I bogeyed number 1, which is a gettable par 5. I just hit a bad second shot. So I shot even on the front 9. And then on the back 9, I ended up shooting like, I want to say, I think 3 over on the back 9, because I ran into the buzzsaw. Like this course is not that long. It was like 6,900 yards from the tips, which out at sea level is, it's no joke by any means. It's not a pitch and putt. But it was pretty short until I got to 14. And then 14 was a 485-yard par 4, wind in the face, a little bit downhill, but I hit a great drive, still had 230 in. And I tried to hit hybrid, and this hybrid was high and right, and I legit hit it 50 yards short of the green, like fucking unbelievable. And then 15, so I made bogey there, and then 15 was another 475-yard par 4 that I had no idea where the hole even went. You could see like the crest of the fairway, but then it went over the hill. And I thought it was a dogleg right. So I hit my tee shot kind of up the left center. And I was like, that's probably making the hole longer for myself. Then I get up over the hill and it's a hard dogleg left. I was like, holy shit, I didn't even realize that. So hit hybrid into there, made par. And then the next hole was a 470-yard par 4. Like just 3 straight fucking super long par 4s where I had not hit anything more than probably an 8-iron into a par 4 all day. And then I'm hitting 3 hybrids into par 4s. Like it was a little bit of a brutal day, but I ended up shooting like 75. And I thought I hit the ball really well. I should have had more birdie chances, but it was one of those where I feel like if I went out there again, I could play even better, for sure better. But I just did not know the course whatsoever. So it's kind of one of those where if you're playing a new course, there's a good chance you don't really play that well. And you kind of got to give yourself some of that grace and be like, I can't expect to go out and play really well when I've never played this place before. But the golf course yesterday was awesome. I would definitely go back there.
Yeah, that's why I was so shocked about my round at Sand Hollow and shooting 2 under, which is maybe one of my better rounds ever. But I really do attribute that to it felt like, other than the absolute scenery that we had around us, which did not feel like we were in Utah at all. I mean, maybe Utah, I guess, but not Nevada, Arizona, Utah area. It felt like kind of like Grand Junction or
Grand Junction's basically Utah, so
yeah, Palisade. Maybe that does make sense, but it was like mountains and all that kind of stuff. But I really do attribute the good round of golf that day to it. The surfaces felt very much like the course we've played a million times growing up as kids. And looking down, I mean, I wasn't even, I will say this, and this is not trying to be conceited, but if I can hit driver and it's in the rough or just a findable area, I'm going to beat a lot of people and I'm going to have a really good round because it's like iron play. I'm pretty dialed. And I was even hitting, I cold topped 2 drives at Sand Hollow, one on a par 5 and still made par out of it. And then the other one I cold topped. I had 240 and up the hill on the hardest hole in the course and just lipped out my par putt.
So full blown, like top a driver.
Correct. Yeah. On 10 was a par 5. It started to rain. I full blown topped it. I had like 440 in. I hit a great hybrid up there that I thought was going to be perfect. It ends up in the fucking fairway bunker, 150 out. I can't hit it all the way to the green. So I hit 60 out of there to like 135 and then just stuff a gap wedge and make par. And just things like that kept happening for me, where I bogeyed 12, which was that hole where I topped my drive again. And I bogeyed 18 because I hit it in the fairway bunker and then just hit it over the green and did not make a good chip shot. But I mean, just those days where I had a day where 2 days kind of where I was just dialed in a row. And then I go to another round and I just, like I told you, I just didn't have it. And it's a lot easier to feel like you can just say you don't have it when there's some rounds where you feel like you have it and you know you can play better. And I needed one of those. It's like the Colorado Rockies. They just need to win a game or two and feel like they're actual MLB players. And then maybe they'll grow some confidence. But that's how I felt. Like, I mean, what was it, a month or 2 ago when I was texting you? I was like, maybe a good round for me now is 75 or 76. Like, that's just how I felt. And then I got a few good rounds under my belt in the last week. And now I'm like, my expectations are going up, but I also have been able to realize, okay, I'm just not that guy today. And fighting drivers definitely not going to help. But I think if I can hit the ball in play off the tee, I'm feeling like I can make every hole, I can make par, and then I can get some, whether it's the 30 footers that I'm knocking in or hitting it to 5 or 6 feet and getting lucky on a 5 or 6 footer, which I can't seem to make to save my life. I feel like I'm pretty deadly right now. And when I say deadly, that's obviously that's grading on a serious curve of golf. I'm not Ben Griffin deadly or Scottie Scheffler deadly, but I'm Spencer Smith deadly. And that's good enough for me in this moment. And making birdies, actually, 7 or 8 birdies in a couple of rounds made me feel like I can make birdies again. Cause I'm just your typical, I can make a lot of pars and I can hit a lot of greens and 2-putt, but I wasn't getting over that birdie hump. And now I feel like I've opened the top a little bit. I feel like
that's good. I mean, I've always viewed you as a guy that makes a lot of birdies and a lot of bogeys. I consider myself a little bit more of the steady, never too high, never too low, not a lot of birdies, not a lot of bogeys type guy. But I will say that I don't know if Inverness is going to make you a better player, which I think it should if you play it a lot. But you probably joined the wrong golf course if you want to be able to just find your drive every time, because that is one of the more demanding courses off the tee that I think you could play in the area. Like a lot of the holes on the front nine, besides one, it's pretty demanding. You got to hit a pretty good tee shot. And then on the back nine, 10 is really the only easy tee shot on the course. And I mean, it is truly a demanding tee to green golf course. Like you got to hit your spots, you got to control distance. So hopefully you'll get more comfortable with either hitting less club and just being able to find it. And just that is the thing too. And now I'm just kind of babbling about my thoughts on the game, but like having a game plan and just like stepping up on a tee and being like, I'm trying to make par here. Like I'm going to hit it 170 yards out. I'm going to hit it 8 iron, 7 iron on the green, whatever. and I'm going to 2-putt and I'm going to make par. Like, I don't need to hit driver. It's unnecessary. It's going like diminishing returns at a certain point where I don't need to make birdie here. This isn't a birdie hole. If you end up stuffing a shot in unintentionally and it just happens, you make birdie, that's great. But having a game plan to just like, it sounds so simple, obviously, but if you just planned on each 9 picking 7 holes to make par on and 2 holes to make birdie on, you'd shoot 4 under every time you went out there. Like, and that just seems so simple, as opposed to going out there with zero plan and just kind of fucking getting hit in the face by the golf course. And then you're 3 or 4 bogeys deep on the front 9. You're like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I had no game plan. I had no intention of doing anything. And then the golf course ends up dictating your game instead of the other way around. You know what I mean? So I want to be better about making a game plan when it comes to some of my rounds.
Yeah. Well, where I've gotten better about game plan is I don't have it fully lined out because I'm just not that technical and don't pay that much attention. But I have gotten better on course, really deciding where to miss on approach shots or even par 3s. Like, hey, missing right here is great because you have all this green to work with and an easy chip shot, because Inverness is one of those courses too where you really can't afford to short side yourself because the greens are pretty hard. You don't even on the good approach shots, my ball's not taking that big of a ball mark. It's kind of sitting and bouncing forward. So I really have gotten better at getting myself to, hey, this is a good spot to miss. And if I end up missing my spot of the center of the green or the right side of the green where I can miss and then I hit it close. But that just getting out of going and firing at every single pin has honestly put me in a lot better spot when I'm out on the golf course.
And that's something that you've needed to improve on. And that's, I feel like you're moving in the right direction there. So
yeah, we love that. All right. Should we get into the PGA Tour now? Should we talk about Mr. Ben Griffin winning his first ever solo PGA Tour event this past weekend? I mean, what more can you say about this guy with his aviators and I'm talking shit and then you're out there like, oh, you know why he wears the... No, I'm just kidding. But Ben Griffin is truly... I mean, let's go all the way back to 2020. I know it was kind of overplayed yesterday, but dude was doing mortgages. Like, we could text Oliver right now and be like, hey, man, 2028, you can get on the PGA Tour if you just lock it in. No, but seriously, like, this is a guy that is a really cool story for the tour, and guys that like this kind of round out those non-elite players that end up making good money on the PGA Tour. Now he's already got locked in for 2 years because he won as one half of the team event a couple weeks ago. But I mean, people are asking now, he's got 2 wins and 5 starts. Is Ben Griffin the PGA Tour's next Scottie Scheffler? I mean, come on. That's a 40% win percentage in a month span.
I cannot believe the kind of bait that you put out in this headline here for this podcast. But I mean, he is playing phenomenal golf. I just looked at all of his stats, and he's the very middle of the road guy in almost everything. His best statistic is greens and regulation. He's like 20th on tour in greens and reg. But he's a decent driver of the golf ball. He's a solid iron player. He's a pretty solid putter. He doesn't do anything terribly. He just doesn't do anything phenomenally. And we'll get into Tommy Fleetwood in a bit, but Ben Griffin has now won 2 PGA Tour events in the last month, and Tommy Fleetwood has yet to win a single PGA Tour event. And Tommy Fleetwood is one of the 10 best drivers of the golf ball on the PGA Tour, which is just insane, where the discrepancy of, everybody's moved into the, if you drive it well, you're going to play well. And it can help. Absolutely. If you drive it well and you capitalize on those good drives, makes a huge difference. But if you drive it well and your iron game is not good, which Tommy's has not been apparently, because I looked at his stats and holy shit, he's like outside the top 100 in most iron stats and most putting stats. Like, his iron game and his putting have just been terrible. But Griffin is just that super steady, super solid, like very similar to Andrew Novak. And I really think that when those two won together at the Zurich, I thought Novak was going to be the one to win again. And I still think Novak will win again this year, depending on the event. I'm definitely going to take him in my pick 'em at some point, or in our one and done. But I really thought that Novak was going to win again before Griffin did. And then Griffin comes out and just plays. See, his game, it seems like, is really good for tougher golf courses because he's in control of his ball, but he doesn't do anything crazy special. He just can get around tougher golf courses. Like, I don't see Griffin being the guy that goes out and fires 26 under to win an event. Like, it doesn't seem like he goes stupid low like that for 4 days, but he can throw out a crazy low round and then he can just hold it together long enough. Like, I mean, yesterday the scores were super high. Both guys in the final group were over par. And a lot of the guys coming down the stretch were over par. So it was a tough golf course. Colonial always plays pretty tough. It's good and firm. But he held it together long enough. And then we saw on the 18th hole, Matty Schmid, I don't know if he goes by Matthias or Matty or whatever, but Matty Schmid chips in on 18. And Ben Griffin's got like a 4.5 footer that he didn't think he was going to have to make. And then Schmid knocks that in from off the green. And Griffin had to make that 4.5 footer and buried it. So it really feels like he's obviously catapulted his career into a different stratosphere, but also from just a confidence standpoint, I think that he probably feels right now like he could win anything, you know? So these guys, when you get that month or two of golf where you're just stupid hot, you got to capitalize. And it seems like Griffin is kind of doing that right now.
Yeah, and Griffin, I mean, we've gotten a lot of these lower level PGA Tour events. I mean, this one, Scottie Scheffler, of course, played in and was lurking the whole time. But as I've said, he does have a bugaboo, and it's not that he's able to come back from massive deficits. If he has a lead, he's going to choke it down, but not choke it down in a bad way, choke it down in a good way. I was thinking like a boa constrictor, like I called him last time. He's just going to suffocate you. But in this one, he couldn't come back, and Ben Griffin kind of held on for his second PGA Tour win. And one of the things that's cool is I think winning a car is like way cooler than winning a lot more money and then paying for a car. I don't know why. It just feels like it's got to be something extra. I mean, he got a $1.7 million winner's check, but he won the 1992 Schwab Defender. In the past, they've given away Corvette Stingrays, 1973 Broncos, 1979 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. But I don't know why I think that's so cool, just to win something in addition to the winner's check. But like for especially a guy like Ben Griffin, he doesn't appear like the guy. He seems like a Hyundai Elantra guy, and now he's out driving a sick light blue Defender. And maybe he's going to give it to his wife or whatever. But I don't know. I was just very not enamored, but I would be stoked if I won a tournament where I also got a car with it. Just like something that he's not going to go buy. He doesn't look like a guy that's going to go buy that for himself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's almost like getting a gift in the way that it's maybe not something that you would have chosen for yourself. But when it's given to you, you're like, I'm absolutely not going to turn this down. Like, this thing is badass. But you really don't think it fits him with the aviators, bro. You can see him rolling deep. Like, he's got a couple dogs in the back seat with his aviators on, rolling around in that thing. I think it suits him.
I don't know. Maybe it does suit him a little bit, but it doesn't seem like it suits him for the persona that he gives off to the public. But I don't think that he would go and buy a car that looks like that. I think that'd be long down the line if he was, going to his dealer. He's not going to a fucking classic car dealer. He's driving a white Hyundai Elantra with good gas mileage. That's kind of the vibe he gives me.
Yeah, I could see him driving like an SUV or something like that. Or a sedan. You never know. Like, Hyundai Elantras are great cars. Don't fucking shit talk Hyundai Elantras. But no, he definitely... I could see it being like his beach car. It kind of gives a beach vibe. Like, you throw some surfboards on the top, you throw the chairs in the back, and that's what you roll down to the beach in. So it is a badass car and a badass win for Ben Griffin. Now, should we go ahead?
I was going to say, should we talk about Tommy Ladd? Should we talk about the career of Tommy Fleetwood? Because I've got a blind draw for you here real quick. One question. Who do you think is right below Tommy Fleetwood on the career PGA Tour money list. Tommy's at 29 million, just over 29 million. Who is the one player? I'll give you a hint. He's foreign born. He's a popular player on tour.
A generation, like right now, he's a popular player.
Yeah, he's been a pretty popular player his whole career, and he's foreign born, and he's right below Tommy Fleetwood on the career money list on the PGA Tour. He has won a major as well.
Sergio.
No, Sergio is not popular. He's not on the PGA Tour, and he won a major a long time ago.
Oh, well, so he's still on the PGA Tour.
He plays on the PGA Tour every week right now.
Shane Lowry.
Hey, bang. There you go.
Okay.
So Tommy Fleetwood is about $200,000 more in earning over his career of Shane Lowry, which I thought was interesting when I was scrolling and finding the, career money leaders. But here's a question for you. I'm going to give you a player's career, also foreign born, and compare it to Tommy Fleetwood's and ask which career you'd rather have.
I think I know. Was this a Twitter comparison?
No, I did this on my own. This is my own research.
Nice.
It may be the same person, but I literally did this on my own research. All right.
Roll with it.
Tommy Fleetwood has 8 international wins in his career. He's made 133 cuts out of 156 events, 0 wins, 0 majors, 27 top fives, and is clocking in at just over 29 million earned. Player X has 8 international wins, 2 PGA Tour wins, 1 major, 14 top fives. He's made 4 more cuts out of basically the same amount of tournaments. He's played 157 and made 137 cuts and is just slotted in over 27 million in his career. So $2 million less than Tommy Fleetwood, but won a tour event and a major. Would you rather have this man's career? And who is this man?
I'm going to say this man is Justin Rose.
It is not. I think Rosie's a little bit higher up on the
Rosie's Rosie's been around a lot longer. He's in his mid 30s. Like this dude's in his mid 30s.
No, he's probably late 20s. But he's also from the same country as Tommy Fleetwood.
Okay, so he's from England. Wow, I don't know why I'm if he's won a major. God, I am having a brain fart. Dude, I legitimately, sidebar, this morning, I was like, who won the PGA Championship? I was just trying to remember who won the major that happened 2 weeks ago. So, fuck, dude, you got to help me out. John Rahm?
This guy's, he's from Spain. This guy's brother also plays on the PGA Tour from time to time.
From time to time?
Mostly plays on the DP World Tour.
Not the Højgaards. No. Oh, and brothers, European brothers that aren't the Højgaards. English brothers.
Winner of the 2023 U.S. Open, I believe. Maybe the 2024 U.S. Open.
Dude, how am I having such a brain fart right now?
Might be 22. But at the country club.
Oh, the Fitzpatricks.
Yep.
Okay, Matt Fitzpatrick. God, dude, I don't even think of him as English. Like, I look at him and he's an American to me.
He went to Northwestern, so going to school in Chicago, I think he gives off that vibe. But isn't that crazy to think about? That Matt Fitzpatrick has they're almost identical in terms of cuts made and PGA Tour events played, yet Tommy has almost double the top fives that he has, but he's won a major and won a PGA Tour event.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Do you know what else trips me out about Tommy is the fact that he's only 34 years old. He gives me such like 38, 39, 40 vibes. And maybe because I think his stepson's 18. So he's walking around carrying his stepson. And dude, I'm not shitting you. Have you seen the pictures? His stepson's huge. His stepson's like 6 inches taller than him. So Tommy's carrying around his stepson's bag, caddying for him. Turns out he was 16 when his stepson was born. But that just threw me off. I was like, Tommy's got to be 38 or 39. When I saw he was born in 91, you look at Tommy Fleetwood and tell me he was born in the 90s, I was shocked. I was like, no fucking way. So he still has so much runway in front of him. Like I know he's gonna win. He will win an event eventually.
Do you think so? Do you actually think so?
I really do. I think that how many times can you finish in the top 5 and not fucking win? Like, I just don't know if it's a mental thing for him at this point. Like, he just can't get over that mental hump. But it's so weird because what I mentioned earlier, his iron, like, how many people, if you ask them if you could have one person's like swing just from an aesthetic standpoint on tour, how many people out of 10 do you think would say Tommy Fleetwood?
I'd say a good 4 or 5 at least, which is a
Yeah.
lot considering all the good swings there are out there.
Exactly. Like, from an aesthetic standpoint, Tommy Fleetwood has one of the best swings just to look at. Just looks so nice and smooth, and he's always got that sawed off finish. And then I dig into the numbers of his like approach game and his iron game, and it is fucking bad, dude. Like, legit outside the top 100 in most approach stats. And along with being top 10, like I said, in total driving. Let me pull up his stats. I was over on Angel Cabrera's stats because that shit's insane as well. But I was just shocked at how, like, you expect Tommy to be one of the best iron players, if anything, on the PGA Tour, and he's just one of the worst, shockingly enough. So let's see here. So strokes gained total, he's 7th on tour in strokes gained total. Wait, am I seeing this right? This has got me fucked up. Okay, dude, that is the thing with strokes gained. It is such a weird. So strokes gained approach, he's 11th on tour. But then greens and regulation, he's 115th on the PGA Tour in greens and reg. And then a lot of his other approach stats.
Could that be total? I know he does play a lot, but could that be total greens and regulation, or just is it a percentage?
No, that's a percentage. He had 61% of greens, which if you're to average that out, that's 60%, like 12 greens around. Less than 12 greens around, which is insane. Like, you're only hitting 11 and a half greens in a round and you're on the PGA Tour. But maybe, yeah, this is weird. There's just some pretty misleading stats here, but I mean, approach from 175 to 200, he's 134th on tour. Approaches from 100 to 125 yards, he's 91st on tour in proximity. Proximity from the rough, he's 177th. Left rough proximity, 163rd. Right rough, 171st. Approaches from inside 100 yards, 100. Like, he's in the high 170s in a lot of these categories in the approach game, which just blows my mind. I just always blindly expect Tommy Fleetwood to be a great ball striker. And I did pick him in our one and done this last week, and he cashed like a $420,000 check. So pretty solid. You know, you're going to take that every day, but it is just the typical case of a guy that just cannot get out of his own way. And if Tommy does win at some point, I think he'll then win like 3 or 4 or 5 more times. It really feels like once he wins once, he's going to be like, look how easy that was. And that's the other thing is he's done it so many times. He has 8 international wins otherwise. Like, it's not like he's won once. He's won more than a handful of times on the other tour, and then he comes over to the PGA Tour and he can't fucking win an opposite field event. Like, he could probably sign up for the Mexico Open or the fucking Puerto Rico Open and still not win. It's just the weirdest thing. It's like the curious case of Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah, maybe there'll be like a 30 for 30 on Tommy Fleetwood when he retires. Well, let's talk about a guy that can win and is just winning every fucking big event he's playing in right now, the big man, Angel Cabrera. I mean, back-to-back majors on the senior tour. And everybody's like, oh, it's a senior tour, this and that. Like, look at the names of the guys that he beat yesterday. And if you're a golf head at all, like we are, I mean, if you're just not really paying attention to the PGA Tour champions, I don't blame you. But if you've watched the PGA Tour, I mean, Patty Harrington, Stuart Sink, Retief Goosen, all of these guys, Vijay Singh in the top 10, and he's just comfortably winning back-to-back majors. I can't believe the career comeback for this guy. And I wish he would have played better at Augusta for sure. But dude, I got to tell you, it just cracks me up. I was watching him hit a few shots yesterday coming down the stretch. Just cracks me up watching a guy play a fucking yellow ball. Like, that's just so Senior Tour. And Angel's just hitting that yellow ball up there. And I'm like, oh my God, this dude's a legend.
Yeah. He is he is the typical non-American golfer, similar to, I want to say, like a Seve Ballesteros or one of those guys that just gets the ball in the hole, just is one of the best ball strikers. I don't think he's overly technical by any means. And he can just step out there and play some of the best golf in the world. Like, I'm looking at his stats right now. His greens in regulation this year on the PGA Tour Champions, he's hitting where I just lost it. Great delivery here. Where the fuck is it? How did I just lose this? Oh wow, this is an all-time blunder by Miggsy here. I want to say he is, I'll find it eventually. It just like fucking, I swear it disappeared. He's hitting 75% of greens right now. Like Tommy Fleetwood's hitting 61% of greens. And I understand they're playing a little shorter courses, but that's 14 more greens per 100 golf holes, which, I mean, that's probably almost three more holes per round that he's hitting the green. So he's basically hitting 14 greens around, which is insane. And I think, and he's also top 5 in putting on the Champions Tour. Like, he's just a fucking machine. And I don't know how he's doing it, but he keeps fucking oh God.
Oh no, we've got a sneezer.
Oh, I tried to get away from the mic, but I don't know how he's still doing it. And it's just impressive every single week. And he plays really hard golf courses really well too. It's not just, he's not fucking taking the low hanging fruit. He's playing the hardest golf courses in the Champions Tour majors and winning. Like, I'm sure all these other guys are hoping he'd go back to jail. They're like, you want to fucking get another charge on you or something? Because we can't beat this guy.
Yeah. Are you sure? Are you sure that you're abstained of all these charges and served enough time? Like, fucking get back there so we can start winning these events again. I mean, it's insane. He's got 3 wins this year too. It's not even just the two majors. He's already got 3 wins on the Champions Tour this year.
Yeah. I mean, he has 4 top 10s, 3 wins in 7 events, 7 cuts made. He's just on a tear right now. He's won the last 2. And at the Regions tradition, he shot 20 under. I guess they play 4 rounds for the majors, but I was like 20 under in 3 rounds. That's fucking insane. What golf course did they play the Senior PGA on? Oh, they played it at Congressional out in Washington, D.C. That's a plenty tough golf course. Like, that's where Rory won his last U.S. Open. So kudos to this guy. I actually, one of the memories I have when I went and watched the BMW at Cherry Hills back in like 2014, I want to say. I watched Angel Cabrera hit hybrid. And granted, it's at altitude. I watched him hit hybrid like 270 yards just on a line, like 20 straight balls into the fence at the back of the Cherry Hills driving range, like just striping. I'm like, this guy is just a ball striking fucking machine. And yeah, I legitimately I do believe that he could go like compete even with PGA Tour players at this point.
Yeah, I think we've said this on the pod before, but if you're a golf fan and just love pure golf shots, obviously go to a PGA Tour event or a ladies tour event or whatever you can find that's close to you, but go to the driving range. It is one of the most impressive shows from everybody that you'll ever see. I've never been so just in awe of golf swings when you got people hitting. Like, I remember when we went to the Solheim Cup at CGC and these ladies are hitting hybrid or whatever it is to the greens at the driving range at CGC, and they're landing the 4 or 5 shots in a row at the same club within a 5-yard difference of each other. I mean, It is truly a sight to behold to watch professional golfers hit range balls. As lame as that sounds, it's legit insane. Yeah,
it is. If you're, like you said, if you're really into golf, just go to a PGA Tour event and watch these guys hit range balls. There's levels to the shit, and they're at the top of that level. It's truly insane. Real quick, while we're on the subject, you took Pearson Cootie this last week in your one and done. How did that work out for you?
He finished T16, a couple shots out of top 10, so not a terrible. I mean, I'm so fucking far down that leaderboard that it's irrelevant to me. Mr. Segment 4 or 3 or whatever we're in over here, you can. A bunch of people had Griffin this week though. There was 3 or 4 people with Griffin.
Yeah, there was 3 or 4 people with Griffin, and then there was a couple other guys with Tommy Fleetwood. But I don't think there's many other high picks. Other than that, who are you going with this next week at the Memorial, since we're not going to have a show on Wednesday?
I haven't decided yet, but we are going to put out an official betting card that won't include all Scottie Scheffler and Pearson Cootie on it, because we got a signature event coming up this weekend. I'm pumped about it. Do you want to get to this DP World Tour comeback before we do Mulligan Monday and wrap this up?
Yeah. Well, so real quick, I already decided I am taking Scottie Scheffler this next week at the Memorial. So this will be.
You still have him?
I do. This will be the week.
I took him for the Masters, so I'm out. He's done. He's dead to me.
This will be the week he misses the cut for sure. I'm the ultimate mush, so I just had to put that out in the universe. But I've just been itching to hit the Scottie Scheffler button, but then I was almost like second guessing it, because once it's done, it's done. You don't have a fucking choice. So I'm like, is he going to win this week? Is he not going to win this week? But I feel pretty good about it, And let's talk real quick about his game this last week. He looked like he made the cut on the number, and then he still finishes top 5 in just true Scottie Scheffler fashion. Shoots like a Sunday 60 or a Saturday 64, I want to say. But it would have been so funny to see him miss the cut. Like, he was obviously the main attraction there. That would be like Tiger at Torrey Pines going out and missing the cut. Like, that would have been an all-time blunder for Scottie.
Yeah, well, I don't remember if when's the last time he missed a cut? Like, I know there's other guys that have longer, like I think Xander Schauffele still has like the longest streak. Our boy Hubs last year had a long streak, but pretty sure Scottie's, I don't feel like I remember him ever missing a cut. Maybe it was at a major one.
I want to say,
I don't know.
Like 40, I think he's got the second longest. I think Xander's still got the longest with like 51, but I want to say Scottie's like 41 straight cuts made.
Yeah, that's insanity. Let's get to this DP World Tour comeback, because I believe I read a little bit about it, and the guy was 9 shots back going into Sunday.
9 back, fires 10 under to get into a playoff, and then wins in a playoff. He had like less than a 1% chance of winning going into Sunday. Plays probably, you got to think, the round of his life, and then goes on to win. His name is Christopher. What do you make of European people spelling their Christophers with F's instead of PHs and K's?
I was going to say it's a K to a double F. That seems pretty insane. But yeah, can you imagine coming back from 9 shots? And it's not like it's one of those tournaments where everybody was at 20 under. I mean, he was 3 under for the entire event going into the last day and fires 10 under. You got some Troy Merritt, a little top 5. Thurston Lawrence, your guy, Thurston Lawrence, whatever.
Tristan.
Alex Fitzpatrick, T11 in that event.
Nice.
Nacho Elvira, your boy, at 16th. I mean, not a great field for the Soudal Open in Belgium. Soudal. I'm not.
Dude, Belgium is sick though. Like, I will stand on this. I would play on the DP World Tour over the PGA Tour any day, just to play in all those different countries. How cool would that be to go from Belgium to Switzerland to Germany to Italy to fucking Dubai, like they're to South Africa. They're covering it all. Like that is my ultimate dream, is to play like 1 year on the DP World Tour.
Yeah, maybe it's just cool though because we're from America and don't think America's that cool.
I think
they may think cool, they may think a course in Austin, Texas is like unbelievable.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think I would have a problem though, because I would just want to party in every city and explore, and like you kind of got to fucking work, I guess. But I would be out at the bars and shit. It would not go well for me. I would be the one and done king if I ever got a tour card, which is never going to happen. So
you'd be the MC, Mitchell Smith MC guy, miscut after miscut.
I'd be the Nick Dunlap of the DP World Tour. What else? Oh, so Will Zalatoris having another surgery. He's not going to be back until the fall. Kind of sucks.
That's honestly, Yeah, that does suck, but it's honestly not as bad as when you hear back surgery. I mean, that could be a full year recovery into another like 3 to 4 months of just getting back into playing shape, you know? So him being only out until the fall, I think is a good thing. He's definitely good for the PGA Tour, and a lot of guys, you know, he's not going to win any majors this year. Obviously, he's not going to play anymore, but it's a good thing it's only a couple month injury, just getting some discs realigned apparently.
Yeah, I legitimately thought it was a retirement announcement. Like when I saw the graphic and shit, I thought he was just hanging him up because he's been through so many injuries, and the fact that he's just going to continue to push through, you got to respect it. But the dude needs to put some meat on his bones. I stand by that. You can hurt yourself if you're fat. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't seem like this skinny ass frame of his is doing him any favors.
No, definitely not helping him. Definitely not.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, we're so in such good shape. We just got thick frames and we're just thick boys out here living, playing golf. Let's wrap this up with a Mulligan Monday. Thanks to all of you guys for tuning in on this Memorial Day. If you're watching on the YouTube, hit us with that thumbs up. We'd appreciate that. Or if you're listening to this podcast through your ears, audioly, I say that every week, and I still don't know what the correct term is. Make sure to rate our show and like it and subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate that. I'll start with my Mulligan Monday. Just me being an airhead, and last week leaving Mesquite, Nevada, I forgot my bag. I drove to Vegas, and I'm halfway to Vegas without my bag, and it was just closed, so I left it. I didn't go back and get it because we were kind of running a little tight on time. I had my golf bag, and I had my backpack with my laptop and everything, but yeah, left my entire bag of golf clothes and shorts and underwear. Like, I've been skimping on the underwear this past week because I just got my bag back. One of my buddies drove it from Mesquite back to Denver, and I just got it back Friday night, I want to say, or Saturday night. So now I did a whole load of laundry. I've got underwear again, but it was rough pickings for a week of having barely any socks, not a few of my golf shirts, my joggers, underwear. It was rough, and I just Corey called me. We were halfway to the airport, and Mesquite to Las Vegas about an hour. We're halfway to the airport, and I see him calling my phone, and I'm like, oh no, this isn't going to be good. He's like, we've got your bag. And I was like, well, I'll just have one of the boys drive it back because I don't have enough time to go get it now. I had my laptop. I had my shit for work the week of, and I had my golf clubs, which was also important, but I did not bring my bag home.
Oh shit. That is typical of you, just forgetting things, just Mr. Forgetful. But you remember the important. Yeah, you remember the important shit at least. Scottie Scheffler's cuts made streak, by the way, is 55. So just, and Xander does hold the current record right now, like still active with 61, which is pretty impressive. But my mulligan of the week is I was down in Atlantic City with Missy for her work conference, and I was stoked. I haven't played craps in a while, and it went just about how you thought it would go. And I only had like $250 in my pocket because I was like, I don't need to gamble that much, you know, whatever. And I lost the $250 in probably 20 minutes on the craps table. And I wasn't even like going that hard. I wasn't even covering the whole table. I just, not a single person could roll, and the vibes were just bad. That's how I knew that's what my mulligan of the week was, staying at that table. Like, I could tell the vibes were bad. It was not, I was by myself, first of all, with obviously there's other people at the table, but not in a group. So I didn't know anybody. Nobody was really like cool. The dealers kind of sucked. And so I lose $250, and then Missy gets done with her dinner and comes over, and I'm a little drunk as well. So that helps. I'm like, oh, I'm going to I didn't want to go to the ATM. So I was like, Missy, give me $100 and I'll Zelle you, because she had cash on her. So she gave me 100, but it looked like she was just handing me cash at the table. So that's another L for me. And then the funny part is I took that 100. I probably got back up to $250, $300, but then just classic, you can't walk away from the fucking table. I'm like, oh, I'm going to fucking capitalize on this. I start covering the board and just get my ass opened again and walk away with approximately $0 from the table. And when I walked away, so much self-loathing was involved. Like, I was so fucking pissed at myself for not walking away. And I was just like, forget about it. It's just money. But I'm the kind of dude that just like beats myself up. And then I went up and got a pretzel dog, which is a hot dog inside of a pretzel bun. And that fucking made my night a lot better. Nothing like a drunk snack at a casino, but I was just angry at myself for not recognizing the pattern early and being like, I got to get off this table. And yeah, I paid for it. So I am now on I'm on a golf betting hiatus until the US Open. But I'm also on another table games hiatus because I just can't do that shit. It pisses me off.
Yeah, we had an unfortunate situation where it was the opposite, but me and Sam were playing craps in Mesquite, and he was rolling the absolute tits off of it, but not rolling our point, and neither of us had the board covered. We were just on the point. So if we would have had the board covered, we would have made a swift $800 to $900 easily, because he hit like, I think he was at the 10 and the 2 away from the all. He was very close to just dominating, but neither of us covered the board because I was kind of just trying to teach him how to play. But then once you don't cover it to start, you can't hop in mid and cover it. I'm very superstitious that way.
Yeah,
So
I'm the same
it was
way.
an unfortunate just loss of potential money in my pocket.
That was not found money. It was the opposite of found money. But had Sam never played craps before?
No, he had a few times, but not really, like, in a big, when the table's huge and there's a bunch of people and the rolls are going fast and
yeah,
a lot of money's going in and out, it's not as easy to learn.
No, absolutely. I was just curious because if you know it's somebody's first time rolling, then you have to just cover it because
I know. That was, yeah.
Generally speaking, beginners, I am very big into beginner's luck at the craps table. If you've never rolled before, I feel like you're going to roll for an hour, like first fucking thing. And I will cover the board if it is your first time rolling, but you can kind of tell when somebody's walked to the table. Sam definitely looks a little green. Like he doesn't have the years of just being beaten down by the gambling gods. But you can tell when somebody walks up to the table and you're like, they've taken plenty of L's in their day. Like they're a battered person.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that wraps it up for us on this Monday Memorial Day edition of Big Drive Energy. We appreciate you all tuning in. We'll be back. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your weekend. Memorial. We will be back next week recapping the Memorial and getting geared up for our next major, which is the US Open coming up here. Mitchell and I will be together for most of the US Open. I'm going to be out in Philly. So it'll be fun to be able to watch that together at some bar somewhere, probably looking at multiple screens. Seeing one screen, thinking multiple screens. Going to be a good time. Everybody enjoy your Memorial Day holiday. Enjoy the rest of your week. We will talk to you next week. Peace.
Peace.